What if I told you that if you are always broke and can never save any money, you are probably a victim of your money comfort zone? In this presentation, I want to talk about a concept that is very important to understand. Your money comfort zone. Everybody has one. In most cases, it's unconscious. It is a limit to which you feel comfortable with a certain amount of money. For example, have you ever tried to save a specific amount of money, let's say $1,000, and the minute you get to $500, something happens and you find a reason or see a reason to take a little bit out with the idea that you're going to put it back in, but it never happens. It always happens that just as about when you hit $500, your money starts to disappear because you feel that you can take something out and put it back in, but it just deteriorates and you never really make it past saving $500. This is not a coincidence. This is something that is determined by your money comfort zone. One of the main reasons why lottery winners usually will lose their millions of dollars within a few years after they win the lottery is because they do not have a money comfort zone level sufficiently big enough to be able to withstand that much money. Too much money, in the sense of being more than what a person can see themselves with comfortably, causes a negative reaction in that person to want to quickly get rid of that huge amount. And how do they get rid of this huge amount? By impulsively spending. And through impulsively spending, the person can bring themselves back down to the level of where they were before. It sounds a little pernicious, but that's the way it works. Unless you have a money comfort zone level big enough to hold the amount of money that is required for you to have, you're not going to be able to hold on to money. And if you find yourself always broke and can never save, this is something that is determined by your money comfort zone. Something inside of you is saying, money is something that I should not have too much of. And whenever you get a lot of money coming in, it's almost like a disease that you have to get rid of. I got to get rid of this. And how do you get rid of this? You get rid of it by spending it. In another video, I gave 3 examples of the money comfort zone, how it determines what you are able to hold and have and keep and receive, with examples of a beggar, a juggler in the street, a boy on the floor, and a friend of mine by the name of Lisa. Let me explain again these 3 examples to exemplify what I am explaining. I live here in Colombia in South America. I'm retired. And I love walking along the street in my neighborhood as I see the vendors with their fruits, vegetables, electronics, and different things that they sell along the sidewalk. There is never a time when I can't walk down the street for any amount of time where someone in need walks up to me and asks me for money. Oh, can you just help me with just any peso, any coin, anything to help me out? I would really appreciate it. And so what I do in this moment, I go into my pocket and I pull out a fistful of dollars and coins that are just full in my hand. I extend my hand to the person and I said, here, take everything that you want, everything that you see here, take as much as you want, it's yours. And what do you think usually happens? The person goes into a state of semi-shock. Their eyes wide and their hands are thrown up. They walk step a step back and say, "Oh no, no, I can't take your money like that." I said, "Take it. It's yours. I'm giving it to you freely." "Oh no, no, I don't want to rob you." And I said, "You're not robbing me. I'm saying to you, take what you want. Everything that you see here. No, you give me what you think I deserve." And then I insist. I said, "No, you choose, or I close my hand, put my money back in my pocket, I leave, and you get nothing." Well, at that point, they usually will get up enough courage to extend their trembling hand out, and looking at the pile of money and coins in my open hand, they will usually grab maybe one or two coins, leaving the bulk of the rest of the money in my hand. I'm not kidding you. And I've done this experiment many times. And so I usually say to the person, I say, "Wow, if I were you, I would have taken everything." "Oh no, thank you so much. God bless you." So the question that I ask is, why didn't this person take everything that they saw? It is because they had a money comfort zone that could not go beyond what they normally are used to having. So as a result, they had to reject this. There's another example that I give during the time I've been here in Colombia. When I'm walking toward the gym every morning, I usually will see somewhere around noon this young lady. She's probably about 23, 24. She's dressed as a clown and she's juggling balls in the air with her, I think, a 2 or 3-year-old baby strapped to her back, entertaining the cars at the intersection during the stoplights. So she's juggling in the air, and after the light changes just before the cars drive off, she quickly walks up to the driver's side, seeing if they'll give her a coin or two. Now, I saw this over many weeks, the same young lady, day after day after day, in the intersection, juggling for hours with her baby on her back. Poor baby can't even play in a kindergarten, running, screaming, and doing all the beautiful things that babies do, because he had to be on his mother's back while she was juggling. So there was a time that I was going to start a business of balloon and party supplies here in Colombia, and so I approached her. I said, "Look, I know that you have a flair for entertainment. I would like to employ you full-time in my store to help me with my party supply store. It would be a fixed salary. I'm sure you'd be making much more than you are here on this street corner in the hot sun with your baby on your back. So come see me tomorrow over at that bakery that's about 2 blocks away. You know where it is?" And she nods yes. And so the next day, I'm at the bakery at 2 o'clock waiting for her to arrive. And what do you think happened? She did not show up. Nor did she call to cancel, nor did she give me any reason why she couldn't go. A few days later, what happens? I see her again at the street corner, the same one, juggling the balls with the baby on the back, trying to catch the cars before they drive off to see if they'll give her a coin or two. Why did this young lady not accept a full-time, permanent, guaranteed position where she would not have to be on the street corners juggling in the hot sun with her baby on her back? Why didn't she accept this? The reason why she didn't accept it, because she did not have a money comfort zone level sufficiently large enough to have more money than she was used to having. She couldn't handle having more money because it didn't fit with her self-image of herself. It made her uncomfortable, the idea of having too much money. Sounds crazy, but this is how it works. Unless you feel that you deserve more money, you will not have it, even if it is offered to you or given to you. And there's another example that I love to give. It's when I just got out of the university, graduating from the University of New Orleans in psychology, and I decided to go to live in California. When I got to California, I didn't have a lot of money, so I wanted to go in a very economical apartment building. And so I am led in this room to check out an available apartment that was for rent with the manager. When we walk in, we suddenly hear breathing. And I look at him and he looks at me and I ask him, "What's that?" He says, "I don't know." Then we look down on the floor in a fetal position. There's a young man crouched inward, sleeping on the floor and oblivious to the world. And I look at the manager and he looks at me and I ask him, I said, "What's this?" He says, "I don't know." And he kicks the kid. He says, "Hey, you, what are you doing here?" And the kid wakes up frightened. Oh, please, don't call the police. I was just trying to get a night's sleep." "How did you get in here?" "Through that open window in the alley." "Get up, get out of here." So, "Thank you, sir. Thank you for not calling the police." So he gets up and scurries out of the door. And the manager turns to me and says, "Would you like me to show you another apartment?" I said, "No, thank you." But why do I love to give this example? Because this young man slept on the floor all night long. Nobody was in the room to disturb him or to stop him. Yet right next to him was a well-made, clean, fresh, comfortable bed that he could have slept in all night. But he chose to sleep on the floor even though no one was there to stop him and no one was there to see him. Why did he choose to sleep on the floor when he could have easily slept in that bed? Because he did not have a money comfort zone of prosperity that would allow him to feel deserving of sleeping in a comfortable bed. So he chose of his own accord to sleep on the floor. That is how powerful your money comfort zone is if it is limited. And the other example that I love to give is with my friend Lisa. When I was working as a psychologist and social worker for the Los Angeles County, my coworker Lisa and I were talking, and I mentioned to her, I said, "Lisa, you know, I love to keep a $100 bill folded and placed in my wallet, not to spend, just to hold it there, just to feel that I always have prosperity and money on hand, but not to spend it. I just folded the $100 bills and just put it in my wallet, and I just hold it there." And Lisa's reaction was, "Huh? $100? If I had $100 in my purse, I'd spend it." So, what did this tell me about Lisa? Lisa had a money comfort zone that said, "I can't stand to have money just to have it. I have to spend it." So money made her uncomfortable just to hold, just to have. She had to get rid of it as though it were some type of disease or some type of ailment that she didn't want to have around her. So she literally had to get rid of any excess money that she would come into to feel comfortable with her concept of what money was. This is something of the same when a person who has a money comfort zone that's very small and that person is not comfortable with money, the person has to get rid of money to feel comfortable again at a low level of poverty, you would say, is when a person works at a job and they're suddenly given a raise. Well, depending on the money comfort level zone of the person, if a person gets a raise, then what do? Many times they'll buy a newer car or go into a more expensive apartment to unconsciously get rid of the excess. So they're really back to where they were before. You see, a person's income, salary, how much a person is making has absolutely nothing to do with their level of prosperity. A person can be making gangbuster money every month and still be struggling and broke and in debt, depending on their money comfort zone, which determines whether they should have money or whether they should get rid of it. Lottery winners go through this all the time. A lottery winner who has a low level money comfort zone can win millions of dollars in a windfall all at once, and it has been proven that within a few years the person has spent all the money and is back to where they were before. They spend it up in excessive travel, giving gifts, making loans, being impulsive in things that they see, not saving, and then with a few short years, they're back to where they started. So the idea is this, is that everyone has a money comfort zone. You need to discover what yours is. I would probably say a way to know where your money comfort zone is to ask yourself, what is the most money I have been able to save in my life? And ask yourself why you have never been able to surpass that certain amount of money ever in your life. It is usually an indication that that is your money comfort level zone of money that you feel comfortable with in having. Now, in the latter part of this video, I'm going to give you techniques to expand and amplify your money comfort level zone so that you can have and enjoy more money into your life. Because until you change your money comfort level zone, you can't have more prosperity. I'm going to propose a thought to you. I can't prove this at all, but it is something that I intuitively feel that it is true. I feel that money is an energy system. It's an energy system that has a consciousness, like a person, which responds to thought, your thought. And the way you think of money is the way money thinks of you in this particular metaphorical example. I would say the best analogy would be to consider that money is a person, much like a woman in the relationship of a man to a woman. If a man only wants a woman around when he could use her up, and then after he's finished with her, leave her alone until she's available again, just to use her up again and not take care of her in any way, this woman is not going to have a very good reaction in relation to stay with this man, with this person. I feel that money is almost the same way. If you don't respect money, if you don't save it, if you don't invest it, if you don't enjoy it judiciously and carefully, money will not respect you and money will not stay with you. If you are impulsive with money, always ready to spend it and get rid of it, money can sense this. Money can sense he doesn't want me around. He just wants to use me and get rid of me. So that money will move away from you when you have this type of consciousness. Money is something to save, invest, create more of, and enjoy in a very conscious and fruitful way. This is what money is. And if you ask different people what is money, you're going to get a different type of answer. And it will be dependent on that person's money comfort level zone. You ask one person, what is money? And they may say, money is the opportunity to save, invest, and create more and enjoy later. This is a money comfort level zone, a self-image of a person who will always have money and who will always be able to enjoy money and who will not be uncomfortable to have money without feeling the need to spend it. You ask another person, what is money? And they'll answer you. Money is something that you just have to use to pay bills and hope that you have enough left after the bills are paid. That is another concept of the money comfort level zone. You ask a third person, what is money? And just basically it's to spend and to enjoy because life is short. Now this is the self-concept, the money comfort level zone of my friend Lisa, who anytime she has any additional money, surprise money, she has to spend it. She has to get rid of it. So now the question becomes, how can you raise and amplify your money comfort level zone that you can have more money and enjoy more money? Well, I would say, first of all, you have to relate to money in a different way. You have got to not be afraid of money. When I say you do not become afraid of money, what I am saying is that you must learn to save money. Most people don't do that. You must learn to invest money to create more. Most people don't do that. You must learn to enjoy money in a disciplined way. Most people don't do that. And finally, be able to give to others in worthy causes. This is a money comfort level zone, a self-image of money that I guarantee will amplify your capacity to feel comfortable with money and to have more. So, I first of all want to say this, and most people will say, no, I can't do this, but I'm saying, yes, you can. The first thing that you need to learn to do is to learn to save before you spend any of your money on anything else. 10% of your money to savings. You save 10% before you pay anything else. And you got to get used to doing this. It has to be a consistent habit. So what do you do with this 10%? You put it in a reserve savings account. This is your money magnet account. This savings account will allow you to feel comfortable with money. It allows you to sit with money that you don't feel compelled to spend, and give you a feeling of comfort with larger and larger amounts of money. This 10% that you put aside in your savings account is something that you're going to do for 6 months and not touch it. Then after 6 months, if you're successful, you do it another 6 months. Now, there's going to be a second 10% account that you will have, and that is going to be for emergency spending, for entertainment, or for things that you have decided you want to purchase for yourself. Now, so right now, I'm saying that you're going to allot the first 20% of all of your income to two types of savings. It's going to be the reserve savings, which you never touch, and then it's going to be a second 10% savings in another savings account where you will use for the purpose of investing in an opportunity that happens to come by. And in this second account, you never spend more than 50%. That is, you don't ever eliminate it. So if you're going to take anything out from it, 50% is the most that you can take from it at any given time. Then there's one more account, that's the quick cash account, where you put 5% of your income into a ready cash box or container, one that looks like this, that you can get if you just need ready cash. Now, this is going to feel uncomfortable to you at first if you're not used to this, but you're going to be showing money and yourself that you respect it, you want it around, you want to see it increase, and you know how to enjoy it respectfully. Money will see this, and money will respond to this, and you will find yourself with more money in your life as your money comfort level zone of consciousness amplifies and becomes larger and larger to be able to hold larger and larger sums of money. You have to learn how to sit with larger and larger sums of money without twitching and the need to spend it. So this is something that you need to learn how to do consistently. And as a result of this, you will find that more and more money will come into your life. So in summary, I say to you, do this consistently, and you will widen and broaden your money comfort level zone to have and enjoy more and more money in your life. This is yours truly, Charles Prosper, your consistency success coach, wishing you as always to remain consistent and be successful.